today we're going to have a look at a pen that I got a lot of review requests for this pen. This brand suddenly appeared on everyone's radar, and I think people are quite excited for it, and to be honest I kind of see why. So what we are talking about is the Opus88 Koloro pen. I'm going to say Koloro, maybe I should say Koloro. I'm going to say Koloro. Interesting little pen. This one was sent to me by Pen Chalet. I appreciate that. As I said, a lot of review requests. It currently retails there for about $93, and I really think that's not too terrible a price. It's ebonite and acrylic, so the clear parts, it does have a clear barrel. I'll show you the parts in just a second, but it's acrylic, and then you have these ebonite blue bits in this case. 4 colors are available. You have fine, medium and broad nibs. Anything else I have to tell you? Yes, one thing that's very important is that this is a pen with a one-way shut-off valve, and that is very interesting. That means that this pen has a section that unscrews. It has sort of a piston that you unscrew a bit. There's a seal up there. You take an eyedropper, you fill the pen with bottled ink, fill up the barrel. You can close that one-way valve again. As you write, it's going to run dry, so you open up the valve and you can adjust the wetness a bit. And that's actually very cool, because this system is something you see on a lot of very expensive Japanese pens. Those pens are not $93, and this one is. So it's actually very interesting, I think, that they have made this system available in a pen that is, relatively speaking, much more affordable than the $1,000, $2,000 Dimitrios, Namikis, those kinds of pens. So very interesting. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Alright, let's have a look at the Opus88. Nice box. I have to say, for a writing instrument in this price class, I really find this rather luxurious and nice. So you get this box. This is a ribbed cardboard sleeve, has the logo, has Opus88, fine writing instruments, simple, the blue color, the medium nib, nice stickered, makes sense. Box pops out. Again, Opus88, fine writing instruments since 1977, the year the original Star Wars movie was released. And what a nerd I am for knowing that from the top of my head. In it. Okay, what do you get in here? You get a little booklet, which I rather like. Taiwanese company. I'm just pointing that out because the URL has a top-level Taiwanese domain. Filling instructions. You get the point. Filling instructions, etc. Of course, this happens to be written in Asian characters, but clearly you can figure it out by looking at the pictures, which is lovely. I like the illustrated guide. Very simple. I personally don't need anything but this. And even if you've never used a one-way shut-off valve, it explains very clearly how to use that system, which I think is great. Okay, what else have we got in here? A little eyedropper, crucial if you have to use a one-way shut-off valve, because you fill them with an eyedropper. And the funny thing with this one is that if you play with it, it gets bigger. So I really enjoyed that. It's not the pun, I mean the joke, but the actual eyedropper works very well. Simple. Glass too, not plastic. It's just nice. I like it. Very simple bulb, and I like that it's slightly curved. It does make filling easier, I found, and very convenient that you can store it in a sort of shortened format. All right, look at the pen. Here we go. Interestingly enough, there seem to be a few models by the name. So Opus88 does have the Koloro, but there is also a Koloro demonstrator, which is very different. I have that as well. I will review it later, but today we're going to have a look at this pen. Maybe I should do a shootout at some point. Let me know if you want that. Okay, top of the cap, ebonite, clip, simple metal. I will say this clip doesn't look like the most luxurious clip I've ever seen. You can see it's kind of, the metal is folded over here. So it's a simple shaped clip, but you know what? It works. It's a bit tight, but I have the feeling it's going to be a terrible demonstration. I have the feeling that you can Sometimes I wonder why did I even... Okay. It does work quite well. Come back to that part in a second. I like the cap. It's slightly, we call that barrel shaped. Barrel tapers down. The barrel is in fact transparent, which you may be able to see right there. Sort of a very dark blue acrylic. You see it here too. You can't see the nib, slightly clouded, but you can see it. Tapers down, little ring there, and then the turning knob for the piston inside. Pen unscrews. You may be interested, I'm just digging in a drawer here, you may be able to, you may want to see this pen right next to a pen of known size. So here we have the Safari, Lamy Safari. See, it's very similar size, right? Cap unscrews, it says Opus88 right there on the cap, right? Yes, I did injure my thumb, thank you for asking. Section tapers down and flares out. Now that's the only thing you see, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to gross you out or anything. Section tapers down, flares out, and then you have a number 5 nib. Laser engraved Opus88, stamped M for medium. Simple little feed, looks like plastic. I'm pretty sure that's not ebonite. And there you have it. Does it post? It does post, and then you have a really nicely sized pen. But even unposted, I find it comfortable. And I will say this about that, I really like that section. It's very comfy. Now, let's zoom in a little bit. Miracles of modern technology. I am going to leave that shut and we'll see if we can show you the difference between it open and closed. Okay, so we have the Opus88. This is the medium nib, and the ink, I'll be fair, I'll be buggered if I know. I don't remember. The good thing is, it's not an ink review. Writing is smooth. I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background. I have no idea what's happening outside this door. There could be some terrible monster eating everyone. I don't know. Okay, pretty smooth writing. And there you have it. No real skips that I can discern. Wetness. Well, right now that shutoff valve is closed, so it's running a little dry, and probably, should I keep writing, it will run dry completely because that valve shuts off the ink flow towards the section. So let's open that up. You don't really have to unscrew it that far. I'm just doing that now because I want to make sure that I actually have that open for the review. I'll flick it a little bit to make sure that we actually get a good ink flow going. I don't know if you really see a difference. If it's, people always ask me. I would say that is a difference. So you see that it has actually become wetter, which is really quite nice, I think. Okay, very, very carefully. A little bit of pressure. You can see there is some line variation to be had, but it's not a flex nib, nor is it sold as such, so don't push it too hard. And there is the reverse writing. And even with the shutoff valve open, you can see it goes very, very dry upside down. So, that was the end of the writing sample. What we really need to see is what I like about it and what I don't like about it. And guess what? That's exactly what's coming up next. Let's look at it. Okay, what do I like and what do I not like about the Opus88 Koloro? There's a couple of things I really like. For starters, it's a comfortable pen, and comfort is very important, right? Because you want to pick this up, you want to write with it. I found the section very comfortable, and that is very nice. Second thing that I really liked is the one-way shutoff valve. I have a couple of those big Japanese pens that have that system, and I love it. Large ink capacity. I'll be fair, I haven't measured it, but I'll tell you, this took a bit of time to fill up, so definitely a very nice ink capacity. And you can regulate the wetness a bit with that one-way Shutoff valve, something you cannot really do with a piston. I mean, you can, with a piston filler you can squeeze out some ink, but you cannot really regulate the flow so well. So that's very nice. Large ink capacity, cool system. Very pleasant nib, wrote very pleasantly. The one thing I will say about it is definitely on the fine side. For medium, this is really a bit skinny. The fun thing is I also have a transparent Koloro, which I'll review on a separate occasion, which has a number 6 nib and a broad, and that thing is massive. That's a very, very broad nib. So I know this is a peculiar one. Of their number 5 nibs tend to be a little finer, but if this is representative, if you're going to purchase it, maybe ask for a writing sample or a quick dip test or something, because it may be a bit finer than you would expect it to be. And finally, what I like is nice box, but most importantly to me, a nice complete package. The fact that you get the eyedropper with the pen, that's cool, because that means that you don't have to scurry around looking for an eyedropper. You immediately can start to ink up the pen, play and have fun, which is important when it comes to fountain pens. So you can give this to someone, they immediately have everything they need, except for ink of course, but you know, they can immediately do what they need to work the mechanics of the pen, which I think is really great. Some things I don't like so much. Now I'm nitpicking, because I'm actually pretty impressed by the pen, especially given that it is, as I said, $93, one-way Shutoff valve. I really don't think it's that terrible for a large capacity, well-made pen. Though it is one well-made, I found that in some ways the pen looks a little... cheap is not the right word. Cutting corners is a bit too strong, but in some cases it looks like they could optimize things a little bit better. For example, this Opus88, the way that's engraved, I don't know what it is, I can't really put my finger on it, but it doesn't look super crisp to me. As I said, now I'm nitpicking, okay? And then there is the nib engraving, which is, the M is actually stamped, but the 88 is laser engraved, and it's a bit vague. You know, I mean, it's not a super crisp. I mean, it's crisp enough, but it's not as crisp as an actual engraving would be. So those are some details that I think they could maybe improve on in the future, and maybe when the brand becomes bigger, it will be easier to get actually engraved nibs and such. Another thing that I already pointed out is that the clip, it just looks a little cheap. So in that regard, I don't really get the feeling I'm using a super luxurious pen, but again, the price is also under $100, so you can't expect the craftsmanship of a $400, $500, $600,000 pen, etc. The final thing I wanted to say is barrel is transparent. On this particular blue model, I find it really quite dark. As I said, you can see the nib. Sorry, I know there's reflection. You can see the nib, but that kind of illustrates the point. It's not that easy to see through the material, right? So I wouldn't mind if this was a little lighter, but then this is the blue version. If you buy other colors, it can be actually a little lighter. So this acrylic is a bit on the dark side. Not necessarily an issue, but you cannot just unscrew the section and look at how much ink is left in your cartridge or your converter. So for me, it's a little hard to see if there's any ink left. And actually, if I hold it up to the light and I look through it, I can see that the ink level is down to this point. But can you tell? You really have to look hard. So that is something that I think could be improved a little bit. But as I said, that's really pretty nitpicking, pretty much nitpicking, because overall I think it's a very nice package. So I really like it. I think it's a great pen. Bottom line, good, nice, fun pen, fun to play with. Nice big ink capacity, one-way Shutoff valve, which you don't typically see in pens at this price. It's nice. I like it. So, a very kind thank you to Pen Chalet for sending me this pen. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye-bye. Bye!